We got to go back a couple years and bring you this special episode of collecting parts for this cherry red, gonna be 49 Chev Fleetline. And I bought this car in Calgary. It came without fenders and a hood and a grill. It actually had fenders, a hood, and a grill, but they were from a Pontiac and they don't fit. So I found online a guy in Mortlach, Saskatchewan, who had a 49 Chev, just like a four-door sedan, and he wanted $400 for it. So I decided to go down there, and it took my youngest daughter, Esther. We actually made 2 trips. It's 520 kilometers one way. And we ended up with 4 cars, 2 51 two-door hardtops, and then the other 2 cars, one was a 51 two-door sedan, which we just tore apart and kept whatever we could out of it. You'll see it in the picture. It's the one that Esther's muscling. And then the one that we got the parts for this was also a 4-door sedan, and we just took the good stuff off of it and hauled those 2 to the scrap dealer and made 2 trips home with the trailer and my 42 Chev. But I tell you what, this girl is a good sport. She just loves her dad. Any crazy thing, she's up for it. And you know, nobody else in the family, well, I shouldn't say that, but she's the one that's available, the poor thing. So she has some good advice for you girls. Okay, we're going on a big excursion somewhere across the prairies to find a 1951 Chevy 2-door hardtop. So this is the deal. In a tent, in the pouring rain last night, and those crazy trains going by.
Oh my goodness.
Honking, honking, honking. But the mosquitoes are staying out, the rain stayed out. We put in another hard day. Today's the 2nd day. Last night we slept for 12 hours and never budged. And this morning we took the 49 Chev to the, you called it the dump, but it's not. It's the
I don't know what it's called.
wreckers, scrap metal dealer. What do you call them? Anyway, and he gave us $60 for the car.
Yeah.
So we got the next one to go, ready to go, just about. Load it on a trailer and then haul it to the scrap dealer and either get our cash or make a trade for something else. No, don't tell Mom.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, it's good. Father and daughter time, hey? You know, who else gets to do stuff like this, eh? We put in hard, long days taking cars apart. And, yeah, it's just a joy. So Esther makes supper. We have cheese and crackers for supper, and little cans of brown beans and stuff like that.
And salad.
Salad, yeah, a bag of salad we brought with us. So we're living pretty high on the hog. And, yeah, using our resourcefulness, all of our tricks that we know to get these old rusty cars apart. Oh man, are we dealing with rust or what?
Yep, I have rust in my hair.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I know, eh? I thought, oh yeah. This rust is the same color as your hair, so you're okay.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what's too bad? Is little boys with slingshots or whatever. Or kids that break car windows, eh?
Oh, yeah.
You got all these old Chevys, and the windows have been broken, and, you know, water getting in for years. Otherwise, they would be solid, rock solid, but the floors are rusted out, and yeah, so anyway, most of them are thrown away, but we're keeping the good ones. Keeping 251 Chevy two-door hardtops, and then enough parts to finish off our 49 Chev fleet line, and that's going to be a very nice car as well. And then, yeah, we got tons of parts. What do we got? How many radios do we got? Four of those old tube radios that go into 51 Chevys. We found them in the trunk of that car today.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they got there. There's like tons of parts that, you know, somebody's been gathering and intending to do this project. So anyway, so someday we'll have a car to drive and a car for sale, and yeah, it's going to be great. And yeah, so hopefully we can get rid of that other car tomorrow and get the 51 hardtop loaded onto the trailer and all the bits and pieces. Oh man. I figured out we can put the hood on the trunk of the car, the extra hood.
Okay.
We'll just take the hinges off and then strap it on the trunk, and I think that should be fine. And then put all the pieces in the cars. We got seats. The truck's already full of seats, stinky old musty seats. And as soon as they dry out, dust comes out. So anyway, how are you enjoying it?
I like it.
Yeah? Would you recommend this for other daughters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, girls.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was hands dirty, all right. Yeah, so, man, I'm dry too, eh?
Yeah.
It's been working hard. Quite a bit of sunshine today, so we're a little bit sunburned.
I got different marks on my skin, so you can tell different.
That's not just dirt.
That's not just dirt, no. That's like...
We found some rags, and we bought a bar of soap today at the mini mart.
At least we have some cleanliness.
Yeah, so we got a rag and some soap and washed our faces so we can go to bed. Okay, that big question. How or where or in what fashion do you begin to plan for a project build? Because these things can stretch over years, and you really have two options, and one is to plan ahead, or don't plan ahead is the other option, and the other option costs you a lot more money. If you have a plan in the back of your head, and like I say, it goes on for years. I mean, I've got car parts stacked up here for this car that I've collected over the last 4 or 5 years. And then the idea, though, probably starts long before that. So back in the days when we were looking for a car to drive across Canada, and I chose the Cadillac CTS simply because a few years down the road, it's a good project car build donor. And so you got to think of those two things. You want a car that you're going to build, and then you want a donor. And I always buy a donor for every vehicle because you can save so much when the big ticket parts. If it's got a good motor, a good transmission, even if it doesn't, you can rebuild those things a lot cheaper than you can buy. And if you go to buy a transmission, you buy a motor, you buy suspension, you buy, you know, all the stuff in pieces, even if you buy it used, you're going to pay a lot of money. So it's better to have a donor car. You get a donor car for usually, you know, $1,000, $1,500, whatever, for something that's got a lot of stuff in it that you can really use. And you rip it all apart, throw the rest away, and then you got the parts that you need at a greatly reduced price. And one of these days we'll talk about the finances of building a project and how you do that, because all of us somewhere have a limit, especially me and you probably have a limit, or you wouldn't be watching this video. You just go to some shop and say, could you build me a 49 Chev fleet line? I want it maxed out. No, that wouldn't be much point to that. So let's just turn around here. Here is two 1951 Chevs that, well, I guess they're kind of buried right now, aren't they? But here they are. This is my RV pad. And so these Chevys are two-door hardtops and ready to be built. The front one up there is a blue one, and this one back here is a black one. And I've actually, for the blue one, I've already got the upholstery made because I've been thinking ahead. I've had it made for probably a year or so. I'll show you where the upholstery is. Down in here, in suitcases, under that table. And I bought a sewing machine, so next time I can sew my own. That's the next thing I want to learn. Another thing you got to keep in mind about projects is a lot of times that they're actually rebuilds, and especially nowadays because stuff's getting so old. But even, you know, my own projects, my 1929 Dodge, I've rebuilt that thing 4 times, 4 different engines, 4 paint jobs, 5 paint jobs, I don't know. But, you know, so those things you're thinking ahead at time, all the time. You're always thinking what you want to do to it next, right? And then my 42 Chev, there's not much I want to do to it. I mean, I've been working on that for years, developing it, and it's kind of to the point now where I just want to use it, right? It's just such a handy work truck with the winches and stuff on it. So basically, I've always begun, not with an idea, but with an opportunity to buy something. So that 29 Dodge, I bought it at an auction sale for $300. And the 42 Chev, I bought it, found it in a farmer's field. I was working on a survey crew way up northern Canada along the Peace River. And I asked the guy, I said, you know, how much you want for that truck? He said, oh, I don't know. I said, I'll give you $40. He said, sure. So the next spring when it was dry, I came back and hauled it. And I've hauled that thing around for years. I hauled it to Edmonton, into Lethbridge, into Cranbrook, and back to Lethbridge again. And, you know, because it's in your mind, right, what you're going to do with this thing. And so eventually you get to where you have all of the parts that you need, or a majority of the parts that you need to do that project. And so that's what comes next. Now, this 49 Chev that I'm working on, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but my 29 Dodge was, I mean, it was just dilapidated. It had been so used, couldn't steer it anymore, couldn't keep it on the highway anymore, and needed paint and all that kind of stuff. So basically my wife says, well, you know, you got to do the Dodge first, otherwise what are you going to do? It's going to be in the road the whole time. So now I've got it totally painted and everything, and it's sitting in the garage, sitting pretty, and I don't even know what to use it for. I don't really need it anymore. I mean, I drove that thing for years, but don't have much use for it now. I want a highway cruiser, something that won't be wind noisy and rough and short wheelbase, and you know, I'm getting old. No, I'm just getting comfortable. So I want to have a car that's nice to ride in.